dyno room today, your new makeshift dyno room. Go ahead and tell me about the sled, about what you're prepping for, and what we're trying to do here.
Basically, what we do is we race vintage ice oval, and what that is anything 1985 and older in snowmobiles. This particular chassis is a Skidoo independent front suspension sled from 1979. So we actually reproduce these chassis also. I'll get a little plug for Rapid Race Cars. We build the frames, we build the tunnels, we build the seats, we build all the suspension. We do all that here at Rapid Race Cars, and we've sold a ton of these, and they'll let us reproduce them as long as they are right 100% the way they were built from the factory, which we do. Chrome moly tubing, whatever. Jeff Huffnagel does like 90% of that work here in our shop. We go to Eagle River, is one of our biggest races, Eagle River, Wisconsin. Up there they will have in excess of 800 vintage entries for the vintage weekend, which I think is the 11th and 12th of January this year. Eagle River is a half-mile, high-banked, oval track that they are putting ice on, or I should say putting water on to produce ice. They have a big tanker truck or trucks, and they use water in the tanks, and they go around and around the track and let it freeze, and then they go around again, and they try to build up like almost 2 foot of ice that we race on for just a couple, 3 different events per year. They have a modern ice oval weekend, and we're the vintage ice oval weekend. So they'll be at Eagle River. There's hot boxes, there's heated seating, you can sit in your car and watch. It's a crazy sport. It really is. Speed-wise, this is a 340 liquid-cooled, again, Skidoo IFS. And down the backstretch of Eagle River, this will be probably around 80 to 84 mile an hour on a good one. This one seems to always run pretty good at Eagle River. We have younger drivers that drive my sleds. I have 2 different drivers up in Wisconsin that come to the races and drive them. I'm too old to get on these things and drive them. They're a young man's sport for sure. We run Boonville, New York also is another venue. We run up in Michigan, up to Lakeview, Michigan. They have a weekly, I think they do 5 races in a winter. That's a land-based track where they have excavated an oval, and then they fill that oval that's excavated down in the dirt in a field. They fill it with water, and then we go up and race on that, which is pretty cool. But pretty high-tech stuff. There's, like I said, different classes. There's 250cc, 340cc, 440cc, 500cc, stock, not quite so stock, super mod, liquid cooled, free air, just a gambit. There'll be, I'm going to say, I don't know, there'll be probably 30 classes or more at Eagle River, different the way those sleds were built back in the day. But yeah, it's what we do in the wintertime. We do two 440 Supermod, which goes in what they call the WC class. It's a world championship class, the biggest class of the weekend pretty much, and there'll be roughly, oh gosh, I can't remember how many entries there were in that, quite a few. And then I have 2 drivers for that class, 2 different sleds. And then I have 2 different IFS sleds. I have a 1981, which is a little different than this, and then this 1979. So we'll be running 4 sleds in half a dozen classes and 2 drivers. It's crazy, but we'll have the other sleds on this dyno probably in the next week or so.
today's just all prep work for the upcoming races, right?
Yep. We're just in here trying to make sure the engines start and run, make sure the clutching is good. I put this sled on this dyno, and I was just warming it up and dinking around. I've got new data acquisition from Performance Trends, and that seems to be working very well. I've got to clean up all these cords and stuff. I'm going to go up overhead and then drop them down on the sled because I'm tired of tripping over the cords. But anyway, I put this sled on the dyno the other day, and I was just dinking around, making sure everything was right, and I did just sort of a pseudo pull, and the clutch bushing on the shiv just come right out. I mean, I've never seen it happen in my whole life, but this would have happened after we drug it 8 hours to Eagle River and probably practiced the first time we'd have had a broken clutch. So doing this dyno thing, it's sort of averting maybe some tragedy or failure you're going to have at the track. You know, it's really pretty cool. And there's a lot of different track dynos out there. This is just sort of my interpretation of how I wanted to do it. There's some of them that run off of the track. You actually retain all your gearing and everything in there. Mine, I'm just sort of worried about my clutching and my engine, and I just go right off the jack shaft into this, and I'm basically a 4-to-1 reduction. My engine runs 10,000. My driven runs pretty close to 10,000. And then it'll spin that 400-pound wheel, 2,500 RPM. So it's geared back, and you know nobody's got killed yet, so it's a good day, right?
We're doing good. We're doing good, man. All right.
The only time that it was good is when I brought it up off idle just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they both were like right there. And then either down or up, we were sort of screwed.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that.
So it ain't, the mechanicalness of it isn't going to come and go. You know, it's either going to be there or it ain't going to be there. I mean.
All right, tell us what the plugs are saying.
To me, I'm still safe, and I'm about right there on that strap. This one.
Now, is this the one we leaned out, the furthest one?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
This one definitely shows leaning out, and it's, by gosh, it's pretty close, but it's showing it needs just a little more leaning to be the same as the other. If you see this, I'm seeing it right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
seeing it right there. That's just a little farther than that one. So the lean out definitely helped it, for sure, but it could still be struggling for air.
I think the air...
I think the air thing is more than anything.
I think it could be air.
Because that carb is is stealing air from the other car.
Yeah, there's no airflow on this side of it, so
no.
it's trying to suck air past the car, but it's also sucking air.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the next thing I'll do will be to induce some air here with a fan, just so it's ambient,
Right.
even in coming in the front,
Yeah.
to where it'll circulate around there and just eliminate that. I think it's a dead air spot. I really do. And that could have led us to something that we need to do, because the hoods, they don't have any scoops or anything, but nope.
Not good?
Can't get her in there. I might have to do my drill point deal. It's another crazy way to set them. Way closer. And we did nothing but really change the jet.
Yep.
That's it. They're within 10. I see, it don't act like it did anything at 7,000 RPM, does it?
Maybe you should look at it versus time. Because like you're looking at it versus RPM, right?
Yeah.
I remember there was like a checkbox earlier.
Let's go back.
If you look at it versus time, I think that'll show us what we're expecting to see.
Okay, let's see.
What is that? Time on RPM graph. See how it's set to RPM there?
So you want me to do away with the driven?
Well, you can leave that, but like that little checkbox right there, that RPM.
Yeah.
See how it's RPM or time? Let's see what a time graph looks like instead of. See, there you go. Now it's showing it over the course of when you were bumping it. That's where you were bumping it up and down. See, that looks better, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there's more usable information here. Yeah.
It's still.
Like, see, now you can see like the beginning of the pole and the end of the pole. You know what I'm saying? Or before it was all like scrunched down here where the RPM was changing. So now you can see it there. Like that was when you were blipping it before you went full throttle.
Okay, so if this is the case, we're 1120 and we're 1185.
Yeah, that'd be the maxes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or no, that's where I'm.
Well, that's where you're clicking. Yeah. They're really close looking at this. I mean, they're still a little off, but.
Wonder why we didn't see it in the other one.
I think it's just because the way it was doing it, it was based on I think it was depending on where you were clicking in the RPM range, so it would show you versus RPM what it was doing, and this is over.
What are we seeing here then? Driven
so
RPM.
This is where you were blipping it before you went full throttle. I think like this. Yeah, I think that's what it is because you were like, or that's the clutch slipping. I'm not sure.
Okay, where's our RPM here? RPM doesn't exist. Correct? No, this is just time.
Well, where you click on it, I think it'll show you RPM, right? Try clicking on it somewhere.
I did.
Yeah, it's not showing it. We might have to put that back on the graph somewhere. There might be a different RPM we need to monitor.
Okay, back. Okay, so it should be there, correct?
Yeah.
Now let's go to graph again.
So like I said, if you go back to RPM, I think where you click on the screen at a given RPM tells you what that was at that given RPM, right?
And see, now we're in time though.
Right, so in time showing what everything is over the course of the run, right?
Right.
So, I don't know, I feel like time gives you, it gives you visual data better, whereas RPM might give you like...
See if there's another RPM based something down here.
There might be something else we need to like look at. Well, then again, I mean... You're right, it wasn't showing RPM, but there has to be.
Time per second, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. You can add that.
So engine RPM is blue.
Okay, so is that the run then?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the run, and then this is where you
This is where I was blipping.
Flipping it at the end.
This
Okay,
is the run. Right
that's the
here.
run. Gotcha.
So when I pinned it, okay, so yeah, that makes sense. So here I'm down at, oh, it says 750, but that's not right. Then it went to 9,900, so that must have been, come on, move. So it went right to 10,
yeah,
correct?
that's
And
what
then
it's
the
looking
driven
like.
is 7, so the green is the driven right here,
Yep.
correct? So it went right to 10 until I lifted it.
Yeah.
Is that true or false?
That's what I'm seeing. Like there might be because like I would expect it to be more like a curve, and that's just like straight like a square.
And it's supposed to.
Is that what you're wanting?
Yeah,
right to it.
Yeah, right to it. It should, with the clutching and the arms and the spring and the rate and all that shit.
That's what you want it to look like.
Yes, when you pin it, it goes right to your max RPM where you're making power, and then your driven does what it does to accelerate your, and then you want that as a straight shot,
That's what you got.
it is.
That's what you got.
Right here, right?
Yeah.
Until I lifted, it did 100% shift. Now, not saying this shift is absolutely ideal, because maybe you could have shifted clear to here,
Right.
but it's going to affect this.
Well, I'm assuming you can like change the scale of the time so you can get finer points. Because that's why it's a square. It should be kind of tapered a little bit on the edges, you know.
Where can we find that? Set scales?
Maybe we get a quick summary of.
Yeah, basically, we've done several pulls today. We've chased a little bit of EGT low in one cylinder, leaned it down, pretty much come up with maybe it's an airflow problem. We've checked our clutch shifting, RPM to driven to the wheel. We're real happy with that. Ken Hutchinson here has come over and helped me today. I can't do this by myself. We used to have sort of a little bit bigger team here at Angola, but now it's just sort of myself and Jeff. And I thank Ken for coming over, because I've got to sort of throttle it. He's got to do the brake. I've got to do the starting the computer. And I tried doing this a couple weekends ago by myself, and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to happen. So I said, hey, Ken, come on over. And he goes, yeah, so I'll come over and give you a hand. So yeah, so it's fun today. We did learn some things.
All right, man. Well, good luck in your race, and I can't wait to hear the results.
Oh yeah, we'll be also. They do the Eagle River race on. Is it Flow? Yeah, I think it's Flow Racing. So you can actually watch it live as it goes. Friday we'll be doing heat races. Saturday we'll be doing heat races, and then Sunday is the finals. And what happens there? It's an elimination. You'll go into a heat race, the top 5 moves on, the other 5 goes into the trailer, and they're done for the weekend. The next heat race, the next 5 goes on, and the next 5 goes on, and it sorts it to the top 12 of the weekend of a class that could have 30 or 40 in the class. So it goes right down to the top 12. They race finals on Sunday at Eagle River, Wisconsin.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.